Travel Oz, coming to you from some very remote parts of Australia. Right now, I'm on flooded Tunda, Lake Eyre. Susan Elliott heading up to an even more remote part of Australia, right up to the Cape York Peninsula. Take it away, Susan.
Cape York isn't the easiest place to get to, but if you're up for a four-wheel drive road trip, love rainforest, mountains, beaches, rivers, billabongs, wildlife, birds, it's all here. Intrepid Travel has a new tour, 11 days starting in Cairns, ending at the tip of Cape York. I'm doing the first 6 days, and what a trip we're in for. Wildlife, plenty of that. Indigenous experience, Mooks is lathering up. Cattle stations, coconut collecting, termite mounds, boat cruises, all that and more as Intrepid takes us north into a little-known corner of Australia. But before I join the tour, there's an eco-lodge to enjoy. What a beautiful start. This is Daintree Eco Lodge, about 90 minutes north of Cairns. It's Intrepid's 4-star rainforest retreat. Let's explore. There are 6 hectares here, beautiful gardens, bush tracts, waterholes, and the lagoon, the glorious green centrepiece. But it's the forest that seduces. The Daintree is the world's oldest tropical rainforest, possibly 180 million years old. It's a forest so spectacular, Sir David Attenborough called it the most extraordinary place on Earth. Cape York Peninsula is bigger than most European countries, has 20% of Australia's rainforest, 25% of our frog and reptile species, 50% of our bird species, and more than 30% of our mammals. Many are rare or threatened, and in the plant world, species here are found nowhere else on the planet.
We are in an incredibly biodiverse area. I believe in 1 hectare of the Daintree rainforest, it's estimated there's about the same amount of plant species as in the entirety of the UK.
Emma guides us around the garden. And minutes into our eco walk, we've already found something. What?
Yes, so right here we have a white-lipped tree frog. You can see that big white smile. That's a great defining factor. They are Australia's biggest native frog. So this is a pretty exciting spot here this morning.
It's gorgeous.
Absolutely beautiful.
And he has a friend.
He does have a friend. And both of them are hanging on because they have something called sticky toe pads. So it's basically like if you were able to walk up a wall because you had these sticky little fingers and sticky little toes. So that's how he hangs on so comfortably like that.
Fantastic. At night, we sleep in tree houses known as bayans, some overlooking the lagoon, others high in the canopy, with their balconies screened so open to the smells and sounds of the jungle. At night, Daintree Eco Lodge is a riot. A good one, listen to this. Thousands of frogs. It's like having our own private orchestra. They play for us on the deck at dinner time, meals from a menu that celebrates local, organic and seasonal produce with native ingredients, a favourite of Chef Daniel. Tell me, Daniel, about your food and what you do here.
Being in the place where we are, the oldest rainforest in the world, we always try as much as possible to use what we have around here. One of my philosophies when it comes to cooking is to respect the ingredients and be adventurous at the same time. So being here, of course, we need to use the native ingredients what we have, bush tucker. These are the main ingredients that we use on the menu.
And these are some of them?
These are some of them, yes.
Wow, these look so fresh and beautiful.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
They're all local from around here?
All local from around, not from more than 50 kilometers from here. So we are very big on low food miles, and this is one of the things that everyone in the team plays to make sure that we achieve this. So this is soursop, yeah, longan. This is passion fruit, everybody knows this. Mangosteen and sapoti.
Now here's a delicious way to help save the rainforest. $5 from every Daintree Defender cocktail supports Intrepid Foundation's conservation efforts in the region.
For every cocktail that's ordered with the Daintree Defender, proceeds go directly to Rainforest Rescue. Rainforest Rescue are an official partner of the Intrepid Foundation, so guests can feel great when they purchase one of these Daintree Defenders right here.
So what do we just put in? We just put in?
So far we have added Devil's Thumb, which is a local rainforest gin from Port Douglas.
Whoop.
We've added Green Chartreuse, which is a French herbal liqueur. Right here we have these lovely finger limes, which we do have in our garden. So we use those caviar, lime caviar is what they call it.
Yum.
So we use those bubbles right in the drink.
And I reckon we shake pretty soon.
Yeah, we've got everything and we're ready to shake.
Shimmy.
Every bartender has their own shake, so you can improvise.
It's impossible to not relax at the waterhole filled by a nearby waterfall, to afternoon laps in the lodge pool, and maybe a Vichy shower at the spa. It starts with a mud scrub and ends with a shower of harvested rainwater.
There's so much to do on seeing the property here at the Daintree. We have walking trails. Very soon we'll have around 4 kilometres of walking trails on site. We do beautiful on-site activities like cocktail masterclass using botanics from our fresh gardens. We have a cooking class with our amazing head chef where you can taste the wonders of the Daintree. Yeah, there's so much that our guests can do when they stay with us.
Rob, have you ever had to ask someone to leave because they didn't want to?
Look, we do have a few sad guests when they leave, but we always encourage repeat stays. We like to stay in touch with our guests.
I'll be back.
Please do. We would love to have you again, Susan.
Cape York is croc country, and just along from the Eco Lodge, they love the Daintree River. Let's go croc spotting. Binoculars up, everyone. Alex, tell us where we are.
So we're on the Daintree River. We're approximately 20 kilometres in from the ocean, so it's a section of the river where it's freshwater but tidal, and we get a really good mixture here of rainforest, freshwater mangroves, and it's the sort of area where the crocodiles like to be because it's getting shallow and warm.
We're also on the lookout for snakes.
But it's such a dense, dark rainforest that the odds of seeing one are pretty slim.
We're in luck. If you look really closely, there's a common tree snake hiding in the greenery. Also hiding, Papuan frogmouths. But here's what we've come to see. And Alex, who have we got here?
So his name's Hook, and he's the alpha male in this section of the river. He moved in about 18 months ago and kicked Lumpy out.
He looks big.
He's a very big croc, yeah. He'd be around the 4 metre plus mark, which would probably put him at about 450 kilos.
And downstream, his scaly neighbour. I want you to meet Barrett. Over 4 metres long, he's the boy in this part of the river. This is his territory. It's a real thrill to be this close to such a prehistoric reptile. Crocs are never promised on a cruise with Daintree River Wild Watch, but they're delivered today. And who's that?
So that's Archie. She's one of Barrett's girlfriends. So he's got maybe 5 or 6 girlfriends along the river. She's probably around 2.5 metres, 3 metres.
And how many crocs in the whole river, estimated?
Probably about 160, that's a rough estimate. They're not counted very well, and that's about over 60, 70 kilometres of river. So roughly 2 adult crocodiles every kilometre would be a fair estimate.
Birds, snakes, crocodiles, what a way to end our eco-lodge experience. But now the road trip begins. Cape Trib, we're on our way. It's day one of our intrepid road trip. Welcome aboard our four-wheel drive truck, ours for the next 6 days, and every good truck has a name, which is...
Betsy the Beast!
Betsy the Beast! We love her. Aaron is our guide for the next 1,200 kilometres to Weipa, which start with a river crossing. What a way to cross the Daintree!
So guys, we've just made our way across the Daintree River by ferry. We're going to now make our way all the way to Cape Tribulation.
The place we're visiting on Cape Tribulation is Corky Beach.
For me, Corky Beach is so special because it really brings together 2 heritage listed locations. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the world, where you've got the Great Barrier Reef just there, and you've got the Daintree Rainforest literally on our left shoulder here. And not only is it naturally special, but it's also historically significant. This is where Captain Cook came, accidentally hit a reef, caused a bunch of damage to his ship, the Endeavour, as it made its way up to Cooktown, where we're going to head up later on. And he had to set himself up there for 7 weeks while he tried to fix it and made contact with our first Australians.
Wow. Looks good for a swim though, might go in for a dip.
Not if you want to make it home for dinner.
or be someone else's dinner. Now this is where our off-road adventure really starts. This is the Bloomfield track from Cape Tribulation. It's the only unsealed four-wheel drive track north of the Daintree River. And it wouldn't be an intrepid Queensland adventure without a river crossing, a croc-infested river crossing. It's said you haven't done Cape York until you've done the Bloomfield. It's a lumpy, bumpy ride, but at the end of it is a hot meal and a cold drink at one of Australia's most remote pubs.
Welcome to the Lion's Den, guys.
This pub's been here 150 years. It was a favourite with the local tin miners who would leave their pay packets here and write on the walls how much of it they'd spent. Signing the wall is still the go, if you can find a space. I had to do it. Have a look at the den's little museum filled with treasures from the past and yarn with the locals. How long have you been living here?
20 odd years.
Tell me about this place.
I love the rain, the dry, but I don't like the cold.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the cold.
Well, you're in the right place then.
Yeah.
How important is it for the locals to meet here?
Oh, super important. So especially during the dry season when there's no tourists around, like friends and family nearly. Yeah, it stays pretty quiet, but we all just hang out and stir each other up a little bit.
The Lion's Den Hotel, what a great place to hang out. Day 2 of our intrepid road trip around Cape York coming up, and we're going to meet Mooks, an Aboriginal guide, also known as Cuckoo Bugger. I can't wait. We're on a grand road trip from Cairns up the northern tip of Australia to Weipa. This is the second day of our adventure, taking us to Rossville Retreat to meet Mooks, an Aboriginal guide nicknamed Cuckoo Bugger, which means he likes to talk. The very first thing Mooks organises is a smoking ceremony.
So yuri ali garin nigo aigun bobongo. Airin war wajul boy gobo. Yur ngarbal garin yali nganchenanda. Nigi alam ngudong ai boboman. Cuma gara bejali junyi nyajala jil bin nganchenin jali. And get that smoke on you. Smoking ceremony is more like a barrier for you. So once you go through that smoking ceremony, you become one of us.
Then it's bush tucker time.
See those little fruit coming out there? They'll grow a bit the size of my little finger. Beautiful fruit to eat. They're not really sweet at the moment.
No, it's not too bad. Nice, I like. Would take a few to fill me up.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's kind of sweet.
Thank you.
It's good.
The bush is also a pharmacy.
Yeah, just in the bush here, folks, I'm going to take some leaf off this plant here. And, it's not going to harm the tree. This is our bush shampoo.
Oh.
My grandma used to bath me with these kind of leaf when I was a little baby.
Just add water.
Wow, that's magic.
It's good for the skin, good for the water, doesn't harm the fish or anything. You can use the leaf for rash, heat rash, sunburn. It does make your skin really soft like sponge. From the same plant, you can use the bark, and it's good for muscle pain. It smells a bit like DP, like Daintree River, menthol.
Oh. That's incredible.
Oh, it smells like footy.
I feel better already just looking at all of this bush medicine. Then Mooks shows us how his ancestors lived. He's built a bush hut from melaleuca bark and it's adorned with artefacts he's made, a spear, a woomera, and he shows us how ochre, a natural clay, is turned into paint for art and body decoration.
Yeah, Mooks, this will last forever. You'll never get it off again.
Great. Mooks, tell me a bit about yourself. This is your country, yes?
Yep, my grandfather's country. He passed on now, so now it's mine. I look after it. Everyone classed me as an elder from here, and T.O., another word you can put it to. And yeah, been, for 10 years for me, I've been talking about it to come back home on country, and now I'm here.
Mooks has also built what he describes as a bush laptop. This is a device full of surprises.
You show me where the on button is.
Oh, the button? Yeah, it's right here, Mooksy. It's a didgeridoo.
Wow. I would not have guessed that. Ever, ever.
Yeah. That's your didgeridoo. Wow. If it doesn't work, didgeridoo don't.
Back on the road north, the town that's named after Captain James Cook.
Righto, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cooktown.
At Grassy Hill, we look over the Endeavour River, where Captain Cook nursed his damaged ship after a reef encounter at Cape Tribulation.
And the Endeavour came all the way in here, set itself up in what we now know as the Endeavour River, and he spent 7 weeks here fixing that ship.
Cooktown Museum has some really special Endeavour treasures. We're meeting up here with a local history lover, John Stretton.
What we're looking at here is one of the original cannons and an anchor off the Endeavour. If you can imagine that you've got the Endeavours hit the reef near Cape Tribulation and they're stuck firm with a big chunk of coral in the actual boat itself. Now what happens next is they have to send off as much weight as they can, up to 20 tonnes. They throw off 6 cannons, 1 anchor and lots of ballast that they'd brought out from England to ballast the boat.
There's also a replica of the ship.
It was not 100 feet long or 30 feet wide with nearly 90 men on it, and none of them could swim when it hit the reef. But it was ideally suited for travelling around the world because it could take low tides.
But not reefs.
But not reefs.
From Cooktown, onwards north.
So we're off to Fairview Station, and it's an old cattle station from back in the gold rush days. For us today though, it's just a great spot to stop, recharge the batteries and get ready for the long drive north.
We're passing hectares of banana plantations. And Black Mountain, huge boulders of grey granite blackened by algae. It's a special place for the Kuku-Yalanji people and other traditional landowners. And for me, a real treat, our first outback sunset.
Well, the sun has set on day 2 of our road trip. Heads down here tonight at Fairview Station. I'll show you around just after the break.
On day 3 of our intrepid trip in Cape York, we wake at Fairview Station, 20 kilometres from the tiny town of Laura. Along with its 2 sister properties, there are over 1 million hectares with about 18,000 head of Brahman cross cattle, as Fairview Station's owner Scott Ryan explains.
It's quiet, but it's still Wild West. It's still, there's nobody around. It's because it can be lonely up here. It's more open. It's, you know, you're in the, there's no one for 100 kilometres. It's great.
With so many Brahman cattle on this property, there's always a poddy calf to feed. From the poddy calf, we're shown one of Fairview Station's novel vehicles. No horse needed for this motorised carriage.
How does it compare with Betsy?
You know what, the turning circles are around about the same. But this is luxury. This is country luxury.
That was Fairview. Now day 4 of our road trip continues up the Cape to Cowan.
It's a 3-hour drive on a dusty dirt road, but there's so much to see. The bush at times a work of art. Termite mounds like sculptures.
I know, it's just great driving along. It's like art by the side of the road, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, it's still natural, which is what we're all about.
And why do they go up?
Well, because we're on a floodplain, the soil gets quite waterlogged. It makes it a little bit more difficult for them. There's a lot less effort, basically, for them to make their way up and create beautiful structures that we see like this.
It is, yeah, architect designed.
From the termite towers, we're back on the road, heading for a healthy lunch stop outside a stopover called Musgrave Roadhouse. The dam here has more than lily pads. It's a good-sized freshwater croc. Placid at first, but then back onto Betsy for a 90-minute trip north. We're reaching the settlement of Cowan, complete with an historic house.
So Susan, this is the Cowan Heritage House, and it's a new museum built from the old materials of a telegraph station that was the original one here, connecting the north to the south. It was crucial to everyone's livelihood. And this right in front of us here is the evolution of telecommunications in the Cape. We're starting off with our telegraph sounder, which we might know from Morse code. We're working our way all the way through to field telephones, and then one you might be a little bit more familiar with, the rotary telephone. And beyond telecommunications, this house is such a strong resource for all the history of the Cape. Not always glamorous, but it has so much information on First Nations history, a little bit of war history, also has a little bit of the gold rush, and these slices that we can really confirm what actually happened out here.
Our intrepid Cape York adventure has taken us still further north, a 5-hour leg bringing us to the east coast settlement of Portland Roads. Portland Roads is a small village with a big history.
Captain Cook's been here, Lieutenant William Bligh after the mutiny on the Bounty, and then World War II. This was really important here, yeah?
It was, because there was a jetty built just out here originally for the gold rush, but it was the Americans who came out here and predominantly used it as they defended against the Japanese up in the Pacific.
Along the road is Chili Beach, endless white sand lined with coconut trees, where we meet Ranger Roger.
So you've got a rainforest with all sorts of strange mammals and birds, and then you've got the beach here at Chili Beach, so you've got pretty much anything you could want for. You wake up in the morning, you're going to do beach, you're going to do rainforest, you're going to do mountains, it's all there.
Too many choices.
I think so, but you know, spend a few days and you can take them all.
It's here we're treated to a tropical delicacy.
Chili Beach coconut, yummy. So fresh.
Roger's on the job to husk it.
You've got to push it just the right amount so you don't snap the stick.
You make that look easy.
The last one could be the tricky one. There we
Well
go.
done, well
There
done.
we go, we just... There we go. Yeah,
Well,
Susan, there we go
thank
there.
you, Roger. What a lovely place to end our day. Tomorrow, from the east coast of the Cape to the west, a big day on board Betsy, the Beast.
Back on the road in our beastie four-wheel drive truck Betsy. She's conquered everything the roads and rivers have thrown at her, easily. But you do have to hold on tight. A new location today, as Aaron explains.
Now we've been making our way along the road less travelled to the east coast, and it's a little hidden gem known as the Iron Range National Park. So this little spot is actually the largest lowland rainforest in Australia. Basically has now become a little safe haven for a large variety of unique species of mammal, bird life, reptile, even the largest snake in Australia, which is the amethystine python, up to 8 metres.
At the ranger station, we find this one hunting down microbats hiding in the hut walls. But predators are not always animals.
Carnivorous plants by the side of the road?
And 2 of them too. We've got the pitcher plant here, as well as the sundews. The drosseras are right here.
Rochelle is our second intrepid guide on this road trip and knows her plants.
So they've got digestive juices in the buckets right there. So when the insects fall in, they're trapped and they get caught in these digestive juices. The sundews down here, they've actually got the sticky stuff around the side here, and the insects get caught right there, and then they get digested through enzymes.
So this little patch is like a death trap to insects.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be an insect around here.
We're heading west now from one side of Cape York to the other, heading for the settlement of Weipa, with Rochelle behind the wheel.
It's so hard to imagine when you're looking at a map how far away things are, and there's no better way to experience it for yourself than actually being in a truck and driving these distances and getting a feel for how big the Cape actually is, because it's huge.
So, how is everyone enjoying the trip?
Long days, yes. Few star jumps when we get out at stops. But just being able to get to these really remote locations that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to get to, I know it's worth the long days, the long time in the bus, you know, do the time to experience it.
We usually travel in an old bus, and there's no way our bus could have come all the way this far. So coming on this adventure into the outback was perfect with Intrepid.
I'm usually the driver, so this is a luxury.
And I'm usually the cook, so it's a luxury.
A day of travelling brings us to our final destination, the coastal mining town of Weipa. We've reached the Gulf of Carpentaria with an invitation to go boating.
And welcome aboard Western Cape Eco Tours this morning. My name's Mel. Obviously I'll take you on the waterway here this morning, and welcome to Weipa if you haven't been here before as well, all right? So
This town of Weipa is home to the world's largest bauxite mine, With around 100,000 tonnes of bauxite shipped out of the port every day, that's $12 million worth. We're boating on the Daintree River, where being in a boat is the safest option.
There's 1 male and 10 to 12 females living around here. Here's one whose name is Fluffy.
All right, he's probably about 35, 40 years of age, close on 4 metres long. They don't need a lot of food. Even a few kilos of meat a week is enough to sustain a crocodile that size. And they can go months without food if need be in those hard times as well. You can see all those scoots along the back of the top, the top of the crocodile, all those ridges. They act like solar panels for a crocodile. Sun shines down, heats the blood up, and they like to be up around that 28 to 30 degree mark is where their body temp likes to be. Nice and slow he's going into the water. Look at that, not even a ripple created on the surface, and all those scoots play a part in that.
The bird life is special too. Jabiru, Australia's only stork, wade along the shore. Boating the Gulf of Carpentaria, it's a wonderful way to wind up my trip on the Cape York Peninsula.
And this is where I leave my intrepid friends who'll continue north to the Tip and Thursday Island. For me, that's another journey.